Here we go, folks. Coming out in the blue corner, we have Zack Grossman entering the cage. Sorry for the delay there. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty. Zack Grossman.
From the red corner, Jake Anderson to the inspection area cage side. Jake Anderson.
And here comes Jake Anderson coming in for his third professional bout. Now, as we could have said earlier, Zack Grossman, this is his professional debut, had a very long and lurid amateur career spanning over 4 years. Jake Anderson coming into his third professional fight. Jake Anderson's last fight was a loss, though, via TKO to Richard Gates in September of 2014. Now, I know that the height discrepancy is not too much, but it does look as if Jake Anderson is a bit smaller, but a bit more svelte than Zack Grossman, a bit more stacked. Jake Anderson's pro debut was a TKO loss in 2014. That's when he began his pro career. At one point during his amateur career, he held the 170-pound welterweight belt in his respective promotion. So just as a note here, folks, this is our first professional bout of the evening. The rules, as usual, have changed from, second tier and the advanced amateur, and now we are on to pro. The professional fighters will have 3 5-minute rounds. The professional fighters are allowed to elbow and punch to the head of a grounded opponent, and they will be permitted to kick and knee to the head of a standing opponent. Now let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for the tremendous turnout this evening to the Syria Shriner Center in Cheswick, Pennsylvania, and those watching at home on GOTC MMA high-def streaming live. It's time to start the professional division of our evening. Starting this evening in the professional lightweight category of Gladiators in the Cage, calling for 3 5-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 155 pounds. He stands 6 feet tall, 26 years of age, making his professional debut. From Enzo Gracie installed training Pittsburgh, from Warwick, New York, Zack Grossman. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 155 pounds. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. He's 29 years of age with a 68-inch reach and 0-2 record. He fights out of Kinetics Combat Sports from Jamestown, New York. Welcome, Jake Anderson. The third man in the cage, Chip Snyder.
Okay, gentlemen, here we go. Sir, you ready? Sir, you ready? Come on, let's back.
Our fourth bout of the evening is our professional debuts.
Wow, they're coming out slugging.
Wow. I think Zack Grossman may have actually caught Anderson off guard a little bit, the look on his face. These guys are coming out like a lion, that's for sure. Push kick by Grossman, now he's got the tie clinch.
Tie clinch, which is always the advantage for a taller guy.
Grossman doing a great job controlling his opponent against the fence with his forehead. And now his shoulder.
Oh, that was low, and I think that really hurt Grossman. You could tell the reaction immediately.
You know, I don't hold it against Jake Anderson. You can tell he did that as an accident. That was not boo-worthy in my opinion, but that was definitely a low blow. Let's see if maybe we can get a look at that on the instant replay. Here in a second. We'll take a look at that in a second. Right now, we're seeing Zack Grossman feeling the pain. This is not the way either fighter wants this to be happening right now. Believe me, folks.
I think sometimes with low blows, there is an exaggeration among fighters. Guys use it to take a break, but here,
let's take a look at how hard that low blow was.
I just think that was right on the numbers.
Lifted the hips of Grossman.
And you can tell Grossman is in obvious pain here. Like, this is not an exaggeration, and there's no need for him to want a break because this fight was only 20 seconds in.
100%. I believe Grossman has up to 5 minutes to recover if he chooses to do so. And
yes, he does.
And if he can't after that 5 minutes, then this fight will be ruled, I believe, a no contest.
It would be a no contest, I think, because there certainly isn't enough to go to the judges' scorecards here.
100%. Now, my advice to Jake Anderson would be to go after him and get him now, because even if he says he's not hurt, he is still going to be feeling the pain on that, and it's not the way a lot of guys want to think about fighting, but it is what a tactical fighter would do.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there is really no way to unkick someone's balls.
Believe me, I've tried.
Once that cat is out of the bag, it's not going back in.
What's important right now for Zack Grossman, he needs to recover, but for Jake Anderson, he needs to keep his wits sharp right now, because a lot of guys will have this happen, and I've seen it many a time. They come back into the fight timid. They feel like they've done something wrong. They've been booed by the crowd, but he needs to keep his wits sharp and get at it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Grossman coming out with some big shots there.
Anderson able to turn Grossman's back against the fence. What Jake Anderson's doing right now is he's keeping Zack Grossman standing upright by putting his forehead under the chin of Grossman. That really keeps him from being able to get off very much with different takedowns, although Grossman did turn Anderson once again.
And you'd have to think here Anderson might be a little timid about throwing any more knees in this position.
I have to agree. I will say, though, right now Zack Grossman has double underhooks, and he is the taller fighter. Let's see if he can find something to do with that.
If that cage wasn't there, he would probably have had the trip already. But
absolutely.
There it is.
There it is. Beautiful takedown there by Zack Grossman with the double underhooks. Grossman easily passing to half. A lot of technique in so far in this first round of this fight.
Grossman is locking down the top of this half guard position just right. He's got his weight distribution really good here, and pinning that far shoulder, and that's what you need to do. Oh.
This is very, very technical right now. Anderson has a sort of a modified arm triangle on Grossman right now from the bottom. Now his leg positioning isn't right to be able to finish.
It does,
like
but
that.
You can't finish from that position. And now
he did sweep.
He did use it to get on top, but he has to let it go. You can't finish from the top of guard.
Absolutely. And he did let go, trying to soften up the body of Grossman a bit.
That's what he needs to do, is just use this to sort of punch the ribs and take advantage of it positionally.
Jake Anderson looking very patient and postured in his ground game against Grossman, knowing full well that Grossman's got a good jiu-jitsu game.
Oh.
Wow. Guillotine.
That guillotine is in.
That's tight.
That is a tight arm in guillotine.
This is really tough to call right now.
Yeah.
Grossman's trapping his own arm, it appears, under Anderson's leg. If Grossman can, he's passing to the wrong direction right now is what's happening. He's going to tighten that choke on himself if he's not careful.
I think he might be out here. And honestly, Anderson might have cranked his arm out. You know.
Yeah. 100%. Very good defense there by Grossman. Here comes the toss attempt by Anderson. Grossman looks a little bit worn out. I'm not sure if Grossman's used to the 5-minute round format, and that might be a factor here in this fight coming into the later rounds.
It might be. I mean, also, Anderson is a little bit stockier, probably a little bit stronger.
I'd say so, and Anderson's been he spent a lot of time cranking on the neck of Grossman, and that could have an effect on your endurance as well. Beautiful elbows from the clinch there by Anderson as well.
And a takedown to punctuate the end of this round.
I would say that would punctuate the end of the round very nicely. What do you think about that first round between Jake Anderson and Zack Grossman there, Mike?
Wow, hard round to score. A lot of these rounds and a lot of these fights tonight have been hard to score. You know, given the decent guillotine attempt, the takedown at the end, the reversal, I kind of have Anderson.
I think I would have to agree on that one, although he did have a blatant shot to the groin of Zack Grossman. It wasn't intentional, and it was not a point taken away, so that round very well could have gone to Jake Anderson, and I could see many reasons why that would have.
Yeah, I think I would score it for him, though. Grossman landed a couple of nice shots on the feet, and it was close. It certainly wasn't a one-sided round.
Now I'm noticing, look at Jake Anderson's corner. They're massaging the right bicep of Jake Anderson's arm and icing his right shoulder. I'm not sure if that's in preparation for a haymaker or maybe if he had that wrenched on a bit some point during the fight. It's a silly thought to say it was in preparation for a haymaker, Mike. I was joking. Anderson's looking fresh.
He is. Looks like he landed a jab there. And,
staying just out of range of Grossman's long arms. Wore a nice shot to the chin there a second ago as well.
Reverses Grossman, pushes him up against the cage.
He needs to be careful with those fingers in the eyes of Grossman. I can see what he's doing there and what his technique is, but he needs to be very, very wary of fouling his opponent twice in one fight. I'm really liking what Anderson's doing, though, with his forehead and the chin of Grossman. Every time he gets Grossman on the fence, he's keeping Grossman standing upright as much as he can, making it more possible for him to land shots and not allow Grossman to extend himself and strike on him.
That was nice.
Wow.
Switched directions there, took him back the other way.
Nice takedown.
Working on getting the back here. Got one hook in, got the second hook in, and he's got a back ride.
This is where he wants to be. He has Grossman's hips off of the floor, keeping Grossman from really being able to utilize his hips to move himself out of this position.
Switching to figure four, leg triangle there.
Not only is he figure four leg triangling, he's using his feet in a really good way to control the hips of Grossman.
And the fact that he took the triangle to the other side due to his position, that was actually pretty smart of him.
Softening up Grossman's face for what would appear to be a rear naked choke attempt. You know, the leg triangle from the back is a very popular technique used whenever you're going for a choke, but it does limit the number of submissions you can do from the back.
It really does. And sometimes it seats you so high that you can't even get the choke.
Wow, Jake Anderson looks like he's going for a face crank. No shits given about the neck. This is something we're seeing a lot more these days. Guys are practicing a la catch wrestling, just cranking on the face and the jaw of their opponent instead of going for the choke.
Well, you need more stuff from this angle. Here, close.
I mean, it is possible to break someone's jaw or dislocate their jaw if you go for a choke attempt like that. Even if you aren't around the carotid arteries to perform a proper rear naked choke, you can still cause damage.
Yeah, with the limitations on how much striking you can do from this position, because the back of the head would be the most prominent target, but it is also highly illegal. And the elbows you would be able to throw there also very illegal.
I gotta say, I'm loving Jake Anderson's leg positioning on this back. He is making it very, very difficult for Zack Grossman to do anything about it.
He is, and he's doing a very, very good job keeping this position.
He is setting himself up for a possible armbar position here now. If Zack Grossman decides to turn away to his left or possibly create a little bit of space from that cage, Jake Anderson is set up to throw up an armbar on the right arm of Grossman.
He is. He'd have to undo the leg triangle first, and that might telegraph the coming armbar.
Exactly. That's what we were just saying a second ago about that triangle being a really limiting leg position from the back.
I wouldn't slide off to the armbar yet with a minute 8 left.
Absolutely.
I would wait for my corner to signal when there's maybe 10, 20 seconds, then go for it.
And the beauty of what's happening with Jake Anderson's leg positioning right now is to note Jake Anderson's leg triangle is on the left side of Grossman. Notice how Grossman turns to his left now. That is the way he would escape that leg triangle. What Anderson wants is for his knee to be on the ground, not his foot.
And he has switched sides on his triangle to accommodate that.
Very slick in his jiu-jitsu.
So now with time in this round running short, down to 25 seconds, I would consider switching to armbar.
I would have to agree right there. Or going for something different, maybe trying to get some sort of a sweep. Grossman's doing nothing but just hanging on right now. I mean, he must know there's 10 seconds left in the round, but that doesn't look good in the eyes of the judges.
No.
He's all but proven that he has no answer to the back mount of Jake Anderson right now.
Well, that round at least was easy to score.
Absolutely. That went to Jake Anderson 100%.
Oh. Jake Anderson kind of on rubbery legs here. You know, sometimes what happens when you're holding that leg triangle position is you can kind of cause cramps in your calves. Like you almost are putting yourself in a calf lock sometimes to hold it.
Yeah, I can see it. Looks like his right calf might be cramped up a little bit the way his toe is just touching the mat.
I think that's a strong possibility. He could have sort of Charlie horsed himself.
Now, what I would say right now, coming into this third round, is that I would say Zack Grossman is going to be throwing some real heat, trying to make sure he has a definitive end to this 3-round fight, possibly ending it in this third round.
I think he needs to come out of this corner on fire, you know, and throw hard.
He cannot just be contented to have his back taken and just defend from the strikes in this third round of this fight. Will definitely go to Jake Anderson as a decision. Round 3 beginning between Zack Grossman in the blue corner with Jake Anderson in the red corner. Grossman looks visibly worn out, but as does Anderson.
Nice leg kick by Grossman.
Grossman's throwing heat. Really headhunting on Anderson right now.
Nice leg kick again.
Both fighters just going for the waylay right now. It's a beautiful thing.
Grossman going for the takedown, but Anderson kind of defending it, getting his hips low.
Anderson's got a nice underhook on his, oh, no he does not. He has a head on the right side. He needs to be weary of letting Zack Grossman have those double underhooks again. As we've seen in the first round, that could lead to a takedown.
I think here Grossman has to be worried about Anderson doing the same that he did last time and sort of switching out and going back the other way on him.
Absolutely. Jake Anderson's proved that he has some very slick techniques for Greco-Roman under his. There we see it.
Like that.
Up his sleeve. Not exactly a flare of a toss if we're using wrestling terminology, but it definitely is effective. And he's done it more than once today in this fight. 3.5 minutes left, and I would not be surprised if Anderson's going to find a way to pass the guard if Grossman continues to keep his feet open that way.
I mean, Anderson here honestly is in a good position. I mean, he absolutely knows he won the last round. Oh, there's a triangle. Grossman with a triangle.
Zack Grossman, a Renzo Gracie jiu-jitsu fighter.
Now, unless he gets that arm across, he's not going to finish the crank there. And
look how long the legs of Grossman are, but I don't know if he has enough pepper right now to be able to force that triangle.
And with the sweat, trying to force that arm across, not going to happen. So really what he needs to do is strike.
I would say he's doing what he needs to do right now. Hook under the left leg of Anderson, get the sweep, and start striking from the top if possible.
Well, he's increasing the pressure on that triangle there.
Wow.
And wow. What a come from behind victory.
Amazing triangle by Zack Grossman. Good goodness.
That was a super impressive come from behind victory there.
Jake Anderson is just spent. What a performance by both fighters tonight. Zack Grossman winning in his pro debut here tonight. Now an undefeated 1-0 as a professional. Let's take a look at our instant replay, see if we have any highlights from this fight. Here we see the triangle from Zack Grossman on the bottom, and just saying he needs to hook under the left leg of Anderson, which he did.
And
that twisting pressure.
The twisting brings the arm across the body, which cuts off the carotid artery and puts you in a better position to finish.
What a performance by both fighters here tonight, though. I have to say, there were many times I thought Jake Anderson had that. I wasn't sure if Grossman was going to be able to pull it off there in the end. He looked very tired, but that's a fighter's heart and a fighter's will right there. He found a way to win. He made the decision, and he did it.
I think Anderson got a little complacent on top there. Just as I was talking about him just sort of trying to easily ride out the win, that didn't happen.
I have to agree. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner at 2 minutes and 31 seconds of round 3 via tap out by the leg triangle, fighting out of the blue corner, Zack Grossman!
See the dog on your way out of there.
Zack? Who do you want to thank? There's got to be a lot of people. That was a hard-fought fight. He took you almost to the end of the fight.
Shit, yeah, man. He's a tough guy. He's strong as hell. I know even though he came into this fight undefeated, he came into this fight with 2 losses. I know he fought 2 real tough guys, so I know his record didn't speak for how good of a fighter he is.
Sometimes you have a losing record. It doesn't mean you're a bad fighter. It just means he was a tough SOB.
I don't mean I hit him with some hard shots in the feet. He hit me back with some hard shots. He kept coming. Even I think I rocked him a few times and he kept coming. Stayed in there. I'd like to thank Honor and Conquer. My buddy Dion, he runs this apparel company. I'd like to thank Try About Time. They're my supplement sponsorship. They hook me up with everything I need. Gus's Cafe, we're having the after party in Lawrenceville. Come through.
We're at Lawrenceville.
Lawrenceville, 4717 Butler Street.
Let's hear it for your winner, Zack Grossman!
Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Zack Grossman, victorious in his professional debut here tonight at Gladiators of the Cage.
That was a really good fight.
That was an amazing fight. I would say that has some contention for one of the better fights I've seen this year. Coming up next, we're going to have Davis Horacio Jr. taking on Dan Kakuta, but first, a word from our sponsors.